Progress.
So we listen today's Murli from Bab Dada. Baba is telling, sweet children, each one of you has a burden of sins of many births on your head, and the suffering of those karmic account definitely has to be settled with the power of yoga. We have so much burden, and yoga is important because with yoga only we can burn those sins. Otherwise, it comes as situation or diseases. So question is, in which aspect do you have to become detached observer like the Father? So he is Supreme Father. He's seeing each of his children falling sick or facing any situation, but he don't become sad. So same way he's asking us also to be like that. Even if we see our children or relatives sick, we should not get affected. We should be detached observer. Because each one's soul is different and they all have their own journey. The father does not have any regret about anything. Even if a child falls ill or something else happens to him, the father observer observes it as the detached observer. You children also have to become detached observer in the same way. Remove your attachment from the old world. Each one is suffering of karma is his or her own. Souls have to suffer for the wrong actions they have performed. Therefore, continue to watch as detached observer. Today's song is Time is Passing. Slowly, slowly, that end time is coming near. The Unlimited Father explains to the children who are to claim the inheritance that the time continues to come closer. It does not wait for anyone. This journey which you have to go on is that of intellect's yoga. You don't have to go on pilgrimage or to wedding, it is etc. anymore. Anymore we should not be doing those kind of activity, going on any pilgrimage or any wedding party, this, that. This is final direction of Father. The Father's final direction is sweetest children, you now have to go to supreme abode. You can now explain the things that are written in Gita, Bhagavad, Ramayana, Mahabharata. Baba is now teaching us easy Raj Yoga that he taught us 5,000 years back before. There is a difference of day and night because what there is in the scriptures of the path of devotion and the practical matters now. Now we know the difference. Scriptures were all lies. And now in practically God giving practical knowledge that Kalyug is at the end and whatever was written in the scripture, Krishna, this God, that God, there is only one God. So the Father himself come and teaches you Raj Yoga. He gives you children the direction. Renounce all your bodily relation, including those with your own bodies, and continue to remember the one Father. You children now understand in a practical way whether the things in the scriptures are right or whether the things that Father explained to you at this time are right. You children now know the secrets of the drama. Everything is Satopradhan at first. Then it goes through the stages of Sato, then Rajo, then Tamo. Just as new home then become old in the same way, this unlimited world was heaven. Everything sparkles in your intellect as to who used to reside there. How did the deities receive their fortune of the kingdom which they are receiving now? So now we can understand the deities got the position of deities by doing the effort in Sangam Yuga, Brahmin as a Brahmins. You children are making effort according to your own fortune. Whoever has what fortune, no, as per that they are making effort. Two-way Baba always says. It's also to ignite the children that if somebody is not doing that much effort, they should start doing the effort. How much effort we'll do, as per our effort, we'll get the fortune. Father explained, children, end your attachment to the old world. Become soul conscious. This requires a lot of effort. You constantly have to remember the Father and the land of happiness. The Father never feels sorrow about anything. He sees everything as detached observer. When children fall ill or have diseases, does Shiv Baba feel any kind of sorrow at that time? Like when we children are sick, do he feel sorrow? No, not at all. He would say, according to drama, each one has to settle his own account with the suffering of karma. Just as he observes everything as detached observer, you children too have to observe as detached observer. I was feeling that this yesterday, that Baba is watching me as a detached observer. Now I am fulfilling my own karmic account by becoming sick. So it's getting settled and it will go off soon. Like that I was feeling, and today my voice is much better than yesterday. I can speak today. So the unlimited Father is the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. He has a lot of love for the children. God loves souls. Father says, I know that everyone receives happiness and sorrow according to their own karma. We observe everything as detached observer. You children also have to observe with detachment. Whatever wrong our actions and embodied souls perform, he has to suffer for those through his body. It is the souls that experience happiness or sorrow. Sanskars are in the soul. Father says, I come and liberate you from sorrow. I am now giving teaching to you children. Human being cannot receive the teaching from Gita scriptures, etc. Father personally sits here and explains to you. Father says, you remember me so much on the path of devotion. Even if someone believes in science or nature at some point in time, he would definitely say, oh Supreme Father, Supreme God, Supreme Soul, oh God, oh God, Father. All devotees definitely remember the Father. The Father does everything. Make your children happy and hide himself away. The Father only comes once. Says, according to the drama, I have thought that I should now go. I definitely have to take the support of a body because a soul cannot speak without a body. A child is formed in a womb and then he grows older, he learns to speak. But the father enters in a mature body, so he can speak directly. I too have a part. I only come. He too have a part. He too have a role. He only come once and liberate everyone from sorrow of Maya. People everywhere are now unhappy. They continue to cry out in distress. There is weeping and wailing, fighting and quarreling in every home. These things does not exist in the golden age. The very name is heaven. They have written many things in the scriptures. You children know how much sorrow and how many religions there are in this world. There were not so many religions in the golden age. It is the matter of 5,000 years because hundred of thousand of years are mentioned. The name of golden age has disappeared from people's intellect. I came 5,000 years ago. I came and I destroyed many religions. and establish the one original eternal religion. All of these human beings are to be destroyed. So now, in heaven, there will be 9 lakhs only. Now it is more than 5 crore. So all have to be destroyed. That is why there is to be the Great War. It is remembered the destruction took place in the Great Mahabharat War. All of these religions are to be destroyed. I come and teach those who belong to the deity religion. This is my part. People know that there is a lot of sorrow at this time. We too know that people have a lot of sorrow. There is weeping and wailing in every home. Children don't hesitate to kill their father for his money. The world is so dirty. The Father comes and gives you children a vision of heaven. Shiv Baba says, I have come to make you children into the master of heaven and of the world. I don't make you make any effort. You simply have to burn your sins away with the power of yoga. There is a big burden of sins on your heads. When there is an illness or a cough, etc., that is the suffering of coming out of many births. So he's telling either you are coughing or you have any illness, that is suffering of karmic account of many births. The names of Jagdamba and Jagatpita are glorified so much. They are worshipped. People don't know who Jagdamba was in her last birth. Brahma Baba and Saraswati Ma, they are being called as Jagatpita and Jagdamba. Part of Jagdamba and Jagatpita are being enacted in a practical way. So look now, this one has to settle all their karmic account of all his birth. So even Brahma Baba had to settle all his account. He used to have so much cough. Then Baba, he will ask Baba, Baba, please heal my cough now. Then he will say, it's not my duty. It's not my part. That is your karmic account. You have to suffer that. I have come to make you all pure. That's all. Like that. So even Jagdamba, she also suffered through very, very painful situation. Even though they were doing too much of yoga, service, even people loved them, they got so much of blessing. Even though so look how this one also has to settle karmic account of all his birth. He had so much yoga and does so much service. He'd still have to have an operation, etc. because of the suffering of karma. Even how much effort they were making, even though that they had to go through some operation, surgery, etc., etc. There's a lot of difference between the renunciation and this renunciation. Thus, sannyasis sense do the renunciation. What they do is those people leave their home and families, put on the saffron robes, and become sannyasis. We continue to make effort. When the end comes, we will have renounced everything completely. At this time, we are effort makers. You would not say of those sannyasis that they are effort makers. They are not effort makers. They simply renounce their home and families and are called sannyasis. We are making so much effort through Baba for renunciation. Being in family, they have to be detached. There is the burden of many births on your head. You stay in yoga so much. You give happiness to others. You receive blessings for that. And yet, the suffering of karma emerges. We are receiving blessings. We are in yoga. We give happiness to others even though we are having some sufferings. The karmatic stage hasn't been reached yet. That will be at the end. There are the karmic accounts of the action of human birth. As yet, you have not become complete renunciates. There is the difference day and night between their renunciation and our renunciation. They leave their home and families and go and sit in forest. People who indulge in vices then serve them. It isn't that all of them have become pure. They too continue to make spiritual endeavor. They also have the they also have suffering of karma. There is burden of the sin of many births on their heads. It is only with yoga that the burden of sin will be burnt away. Until the Father comes, no one can teach you yoga. Their yoga is not with the Almighty Authority, Father, and so their sins cannot be absolved. The Brahma element cannot be called the Almighty Authority. The Almighty Authority is the one Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, Shiv. It is the Supreme Soul who comes here. The Brahma element would not come here. You children too have a big burden of sins on your head. You have to make a lot of effort to have your sins absolved. You have to become the masters of the world. No one except the Father can make you that. The Father makes you that with the power of yoga. You receive power from the Father, the Almighty Authority. He is the world Almighty Authority. You children now know that this whole world is unhappy. All the happiness that there may be is a temporary, like the droppings of a crow. True happiness only exists in heaven. Maya, who causes sorrow, does not exist there. Many don't believe these things. They ask, how can this be? When they don't believe it, you can understand that they don't belong to your deity clan. Those who belong to the deity clan will definitely believe it. They believe it in the previous cycle too. The Father is not telling it to you. The Unlimited Father remembers the children at all centers. No sannyasis could say that he is speaking to all the children. There, all of those people would become his followers. They are not sent the Murlis like you are, that they would all listen to them. Here, you are sent Murlis through which you can follow Srimat and become elevated. God is called Shri Shri, the most elevated of all. The Father says, I am the most elevated of all and I make everyone elevated. How can there be elevated beings in the impure world? If we become pure, we cannot stay here. The rosary of Sri Sri 108 is identical to the Shiv Baba rosary of Rudra. He alone is called Sri Sri. The most elevated one of all establishes heaven and make you into the most elevated being in the human world, so that you become the master of the heaven. Therefore, you understand that in the rosary of Sri Sri 108 is created. That is incorporeal Shiv Baba at the top, and that he is making us just as elevated. This is the Godly World University. God is teaching you Brahma Kumar and Kumaris. The Godly World University is that of Supreme Father, Supreme Soul. This is the World University to give knowledge to the world. Anyone who wants to can become master of the world. If you want, you can go and sit in the sweet home. The Father has come to make you constantly peaceful and happy. I come every cycle and make the children of Bharat into masters of the world. All the rest of the soul reside in the land of peace. There are just the souls of the deities in the golden age. You now You know that Baba truly teaches you and makes you into the master of heaven according to much yoga you have and how much effort you make. All the other souls settle their karmic account and return home. All the bodies are destroyed. There is end of the iron age and beginning of the golden age. So you children now know how much remains. There are now 5 or 6 billion souls. In the golden age there will be only 9 lakhs. At the beginning there were few and then expansion takes place. Therefore, the living beings in all of those bodies will settle their karmic account and return home. It is the settlement for everyone. Everyone has to settle. Maya has buried everyone in the graveyard. They are all in a graveyard. They are of no use. Now understand that unlimited Father teaches all of your souls and makes you into the masters of the world. This is the only godly and world university where you become the masters of the world. The Father's property is heaven. If we have this faith, why shouldn't we follow his direction and claim our inheritance of heaven? There is no question of renouncing anything. You just have to renounce the vices. However, that is good. Is it not, Baba? Why should we not remain pure? So he is telling that now you understand that unlimited Father teaches you all of your soul and make you into master of the world. This is only godly world university where you become master of the world. The Father property is heaven. If we have this faith, why shouldn't we follow his direction and claim our inheritance of heaven? There is no question of renouncing anything. We just have to renounce the vices. However, that is good, is it not? Baba, why should we not remain pure? Why would we not renounce the vices? It is only by renouncing the 5 vices that we will become the rulers of the globe. The Father says, you now have to die. You definitely have to come to the land of Nirvana. And so, why should you not earn an income? Those of other religion will also come here and take their aim. Children have had vision of how the soul of Abraham, Christ, etc. come to salute the Father and take their aim. However, they will not take the knowledge. Yes, those who are the decoration of Brahmin clan will take to this quickly without becoming a decoration of Brahmin clan. You cannot become a decoration of the DT clan. Only after you become Brahmins do you become DT. DTs then become warriors, merchants, and then Shudras. These clans continue to go around the cycle. Sri Lakshmi and Narayan, who were worth a pound, also have to go around the cycle of 84. If you have faith that you definitely have to claim your inheritance from a limited father and from whom you receive the happiness for half a cycle, why would not you not make effort? There is no question of renouncing anything. That was in your paths in Sindh. It is written that Krishna abducted queens and that he used to graze cows. Did he abduct them so that he could be insulted? He abducted them to make them into queens. He did not abduct any queens. It is the story of Naoli when we were like running to listen to Mundis. So he's not abducting us, but the gopis are running towards him in the furnace of yoga. The furnace had to be created. You all had to do tapasya and become worthy of doing service. Now, scarcely a few become worthy of doing service. You have experienced this in a practical way. You understand that Shiv Baba is making you into master of the world. He too works. The Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, is the creator of heaven. And so he definitely will come here. He says, even now I'm establishing heaven. I'm teaching you, he explains to you children. Cha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning. From Mother, Father, and Bab Dada, spiritual father says, Namaste to the spiritual children. From the spiritual children, love, remembrance, and good morning. Namaste Baba, Namaste. Shukriya Baba, Shukriya. Essence for dharna. First, in order to have the burden of sins of many births removed from your head, remember the Almighty Authority Father and take power from Him. Give happiness to everyone and receive blessings. Follow the elevated direction of Sri Sri and renounce everything completely. At this time of settlement, remove your intellect yoke from everyone else. Blessing. May you be a spinner of discuss of self-relation and by becoming master knowledgeful. Know your horoscope of 5,000 years. In this spin the discuss of self-realization, we become master knowledgeful. Those who become spinner of discuss of self-realization at this time become rulers of the globe and have a right to the fortune of the kingdom in future. Be a spinner of the discuss of self-realization to know all different parts of you play in the world cycle at this time. You children especially come to know your horoscope of 5,000 years and have become master knowledge. All of you have now understood this special aspects. By making your lives like a diamond in the final birth, you become those who play hero parts for the whole cycle. Slogan: color your companions with the color of Father Company. Color your companion with the color of the Father Company, and you will not be colored by their. This is very nice, love. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti.